Hey, good morning, everybody. Happy Monday. Hope you are doing fantastic. Let me I am discombobulated this morning. Holy smokes. Wow. What a weekend. What a day. I think the devil is getting in there today. So I've got something on my heart that I want to talk about that I think is a combination of, oh man, why can't I? Where in the world? Where is? Sorry, guys, I'm looking for something here and it's not here. Where in the world is it? Huh. That's crazy. Well, let's just do. Well, we'll just leave it like this for a minute. I hope nobody brand new is watching the show today because you're probably wondering what in the world is going on. So, I have to apologize to you guys. I haven't done this in forever, but somehow I managed to oversleep today. And I was starting to say, I think it's the devil getting in there because he didn't really want me talking about what I'm talking about. So if you are new to the channel, then you don't know that I am a Christian and that, that I talk a lot on Monday mindset, Monday morning mindset, motivational stuff that, that we do get into, a little bit of Christianity, a little bit of spirituality, and, something happened yesterday at church that was really on my heart. And I think that's why today is all messed up. That's part of it. I didn't, there's a lot of different things that go into it, but I think that, like this morning, I was going to sleep in a little bit late anyways. I wanted to get up at like 8:30, which I know that sounds pretty late. It only gives me a half an hour to get ready, but that would have been fine. But somehow my alarm didn't go off. And long story short, I rolled over and I looked at my phone thinking, man, it's got to be 8:30 by now. And it was 9:04. So I jumped out of bed, got over here, told you guys I'd be ready to go by 9:15. Here it is, 9:23. So I've been awake for almost 20 minutes now. No coffee. So, bear with me for a quick minute while I am getting my wits about me. I hope you guys all had a good weekend. I had a great weekend. For those of you that weren't available to be on this Cardsmith's Card Crack, it went phenomenally well. It wasn't something that I really planned on talking about today, but give myself a chance to wake up by mentioning it. So we actually pulled a Bitcoin redemption card worth, I guess it was, it was worth $108. So however many times $100 goes into to 100,000, it was worth $108, or basically whatever Bitcoin is at. If Bitcoin's at 110,000, then it's worth $110, and so on and so forth. But at about the 1 hour and 37-minute mark, we also pulled a 1 of 1. And when I was talking to the guy Chaz, who is one of the co-founders, one of the people that I met at Bitcoin 2025, he was like pretty excited that I had pulled this 1 of 1 card. And when I asked him how much it might be worth, he told me that cards that weren't as nice and that were less desirable had sold for $2,000 or more. So he's basically telling me that he believes that my 1 of 1 that I pulled on last Thursday night is worth a couple $1,000, potentially a little bit more. Here, give me 1 second. So that was fun. I have a lot to learn about how to do card breaks. I think I could have made it a lot more exciting for the audience, and so on and so forth. But to pull a card that was potentially worth as much as $5,000 is pretty exciting. And so I think the other thing is I got a whole lot of cards that I think might be worth $5, $10, $25. We opened up, it took almost 2 hours to do that card break. And so with that, let me run over. Let me see here. We're gonna talk about a few different things. I keep trying to figure out how in the world. I had some branding here that I wanted to pull up, but for some reason, it is not here. So I will have to talk to my son Josh and figure out where in the world this stuff went. Where in the world is this? Trying to see here. Not that big of a deal. Pull this up for a quick second. But anyways, let's get into the let's get into one of the main things that I really wanted to talk about, which was hopelessness. So it kind of really bothered me right in the beginning of my church service yesterday. The pastor said that 70% of Christians are feeling hopeless right now. And that number, that hit me like a ton of bricks for a couple of different reasons. I thought, wow, if 70% of Christians who are supposed to be some of the most hopeful people in the world, because we're supposed to put our faith in Jesus. And if you're really a Christian and you believe that after this earth is done for, you're going to spend eternity with your Savior in heaven with your loved ones, like as Christians, we got a lot to be hopeful for. And even here on this earth, we realize that the trials and tribulations and all of the things that we're going through are all just, temporary. And that, so my point is, as Christians, we should be some of the most hopeful people on the planet. And it got me thinking that if 70% of Christians are feeling hopeless, what does that do for the rest of the world? Like, what are the other people that aren't Christians, or that are other religions, like what percentage of them are feeling hopeless? And obviously we don't know. It could be less, it could be more, but even if it was about the same, to me, 70% of the population feeling hopeless is crazy. And guys, one of the things that I've learned over the course of my life is that hope is a magical ingredient in life. That as long as you have some hope, you can endure almost anything. But the moment that you become hopeless and that you really truly feel hopelessness and you don't believe that there is any hope, is when life gets to be not worth living. And obviously, we've talked about that a little bit here on the channel, recently, with people that, have lost hope in the cryptocurrency markets over the last few weeks, and then have done, some extremely severe things. We talk about, calling it, making a temporary solution permanent and stuff like that. That's when people lose hopelessness, or when people become hopeless, that's when stuff like that starts happening. And guys, I want to, I don't know if anybody out there watching this today is feeling hopeless, but I want to give you some hope. And I also want to let my Belgian Malinois in through the back door because I can't stand hearing her scratch and bark. So once again, give me one more moment here. So discombobulated this morning. Oh, man. Come on, buddy. Yeah. Come say hello. Come here. Come here. Zachary. Come here. Come on. Up. What are you doing? Hey, let's go. Come here. Up. Yeah, say hello. This is the one barking at the back of the house. Yep. This is my buddy. That's Valkyrie. So let's get back to this hope and hopelessness. You know, I was reading a book a little while back that talked about some of the prisoners at like a concentration camp in World War II and some of the things that they did to hold on to hope and some of the things that they did to make it, you know, for years. I don't remember the exact statistics, but I think that back during World War II, you know, some of these people that were in the, you know, that got caught and that were prisoners of war were held for years and years, at least a couple of years, if not longer. And then we've got kitty cats that want to decide to be extra lovey-dovey this morning. This here is my buddy Esme. Yeah. Ooh, you're going to claw? Huh? You're going to claw? I didn't mean to do that. It's my buddy Esme. That's here. I'll give you guys a free tip about hope. If you want to have some hope, get some pets. I tell you what, it's hard to stay in a bad mood when you got dogs and cats around that want to love on you and, you know, and that want your attention and all of that stuff. You know, it's hard to stay depressed for very long when you got pets. So what are you doing, cat? Will you go one direction or another, please? Either keep going or... Oh, for goodness sakes, this was a mistake. I got myself a fur coat. Hi, thank you. Yes, I love the lovin's. You want to come back this direction? No? You guys, I kind of want to just turn off the camera. I just want to turn off the camera and start all over tomorrow because today's live stream is probably going to be one of the worst. Kind of embarrassing at this point in my journey with over 4 years of doing this. You would think that I would be able to get on here and impart a little bit more wisdom in a little bit more professional manner than this. I don't know. Maybe one of the reasons you like me is because of all of the animals and the unprofessionalism. I don't know. But I was talking about, you know, prisoners of war that were locked up in little, you know, cages that were 2 feet by 2 feet or 3 feet by 3 feet and being fed, you know, half rotten food and, you know, dirty water and so on and so forth, that managed to stay hopeful because, you know, they had a hope. Their hope was being rescued. They had a hope that they would get rescued someday and be reunited with their family and be back to their normal life. And those were the ones that made it. There was a lot of people back during those days that didn't make it home to their family. And one of the biggest reasons, guys, was because they lost hope. And so I'm not an expert on you know, how to help people have more hope in their life. But it's something that after listening to the sermon at my church yesterday, is something that I want to get better at, guys. I want to be able to help people, you know, that are feeling hopeless. And I mean, I think there's a difference too, guys, between feeling a little hopeless and actually being, hopeless or feeling totally hopeless. Everybody kind of has their moments where they feel a little hopeless for a minute or 5 or 15 or even an hour or two or for a day. But when you start to feel hopeless on a permanent basis and really, on a long-term scale, life just becomes totally miserable. And the thing that I do believe with all of my heart is that you can flip a switch and you can become hopeful in just a matter of a second. That fast. I'm not a great snapper, am I? But that quick, you can flip. Now, you're probably not going to flip to hopeful permanently, but you can become hopeful. You can become hopeful, over a period of time. You can regain your hopefulness, but in some ways, you can kind of turn the switch and you can go from feeling totally hopeless to hopeful, very, very quickly. And so I kind of have a feeling that there's a lot of you that are watching here today that are like, Brad, why are you talking about this? I'm not hopeless. I am hopeful. And so for those of you that are here today that are hopeful, that's what I love. And I'm glad that you're here, and I'm glad that you're a part of the channel, and I'm glad that I've got a bunch of people that are full of hope. But guys, I am also pretty sure that there's some people on here that might be losing hope or that are on the verge of hopelessness. And if none of you are at that place, you're probably going to run into somebody or already know somebody that is. And how can we help them? Well, I don't know. I honestly, part of the reason that I'm here today is to try to figure out, like, what can we do? What can the Infinite Crypto YouTube channel do to help give, people hope? Any suggestions, man? Peace I leave with you. My peace I give unto you. Not as the world giveth, do I give unto you. Let not your heart be troubled, nor let it be afraid. John 1:14-27. Beautiful. That is absolutely, in my mind, one of the best ways to give people hope too. One of the best things that we can do is we can share, the good news of the gospel. We can share Jesus Christ with them. And I think that is so beautiful. But, one of the things that I talked about early in the show today, I'm not going to try. What is it? Nabako Dinosaur? We're just going to call you Dinosaur. But thank you for being here, and thank you for that beautiful verse. But one of the things that I mentioned, I don't know if you heard the very beginning of the show, but I was at church yesterday, and the pastor was talking about some statistics, and one of the ones that he gave was 70% of Christians were feeling hopeless. And so while I agree with you that sharing the gospel and sharing the love of Jesus Christ with people is a fantastic way to give people hope, there's also a ton of people that are already there, that already call themselves Christians, that are feeling hopeless. But I do agree that is a absolutely great answer. And so one of the things, guys, whether we like it or not, is when you ask people, let me ask you guys, let me give you, what is the number one thing that makes people feel hopeless? Do you guys have any idea? Anybody want to take a guess as to the number one thing that makes people feel hopeless? I won't spend a whole lot of time, waiting for your comments, but unfortunately, the society that we live in, guys, the number one thing, in my opinion, and you guys can tell me if I'm wrong, and I do look forward to hearing any answers that you have, But the number one thing that most people are hopeless about is the financial situation that they're in. Because while money cannot buy you happiness, and there are a lot of wealthy people that feel hopeless, one of the biggest forms of hopelessness and frustration in life is finances. Especially, guys, I'm going to talk to you for a second, especially as men. We are here on this earth to be providers, protectors, to shelter and take care of our family. And there is something, a dagger that goes through a man's heart when he doesn't feel like he is providing for his wife and his children the way that he should be, the way that they deserve to be. If you say it to yourself, it's what you say to yourself that counts. Absolutely, man. Words are so, so powerful. Another one here, absolutely love this too. I agree. Behold the birds of the air, for they neither sow nor do they reap, nor gather into barns, and your heavenly Father feedeth them. Are not you of much more value than they? Matthew 6:26. Absolutely. I mean, that's another promise that God will provide our needs. And another incredible Bible verse that I agree with, wholeheartedly. And Dave, I believe what you're saying too. If you say it to yourself, it's what you say to yourself that counts. Absolutely. But there's so many people out there that don't say the right things to themselves, that are using their words negatively to hurt themselves and to put themselves in a position of, just total frustration. And so if you guys, I don't know if you guys agree with me or not, that finances is one of the things that a lot of people are feeling hopeless about right now. Put a 1 in the chat for me, guys, please. Put a 1 in the chat if you think finances are the number one thing that most people are feeling hopeless about. Put a 2 in the chat if you think it's something else, or say what it is. Feel free to put what it is. But if you agree with me that finances are the number one thing that most people are feeling hopeless over, throw a 1 in the chat for me. If you think it's something else, throw a 2 in the chat. And so I'm going to switch gears a little bit here and talk about some things that I've never really, talked about before. But, one of the things that we do here, I'm going to switch my screen share here for a minute too. So far, I see a couple of 1s. Share here. Get this added to the stage. Excuse me. Let's see if it's here right on this video. So you can see in the description, and this basically, you can go all the way back probably to one of the very first videos that I ever did. And it says, freedom is our war cry here at Infinite Crypto. If you want to live a life where you call your own shots, no bosses, no employees, no clients dictating what you do with your time, where you can take amazing vacations and create generational wealth, then like this video and subscribe to the channel. So I go back to freedom is our war cry here at Infinite Crypto. If you want to live a life where you call your own shots, no bosses, no employees, no clients dictating what you do with your time, where you can take amazing vacations and create generational wealth. So right from the very, very beginning of this channel, one of the things that I believe is important, and one of the things that I want to impart on people and help give them hope with, is their financial situation. My beautiful bride says, Deana Varnell says, I think there are a few things that you can do to help people, to give people hope. One, listen to them. Don't try to fix them, but understand what is going on. I have another, but it won't let me type it out. You're welcome to come out here and just tell us on camera, babe, if you want to. But yeah, I think that is huge. Listen to them. Don't try to fix them, but try to understand what is going on. I know that as a human being, I have a tendency to want to try to fix. I'm definitely a fixer. You bring me a problem, you come to me with something that is challenging you, and I normally go right into, fix it mode and trying to be helpful, and I need to do a better job of listening. But guys, if we are somewhat in agreement here, those of you that have typed a 1 in the chat, we're in agreement that finances are important in our life. They're not the most important thing, but is very, very, it's difficult to be happy when you're facing financial struggles all the time. At the same time, this is such a powerful verse right here, because God talks a little bit about this in the Bible. And behold the birds of the air, for they neither sow nor do they reap, nor gather into the barns, and your heavenly Father feedeth them. Are not you of much more value than they? What this verse is basically saying is that God has got your back. God's going to take care of you. I mean, it might sound like a horrible example, but, even there are a lot of homeless people out there that are eating pretty good. In the Bible, it doesn't necessarily talk about, giving the homeless people a bunch of money and, buying, trying to buy a homeless person a house and that kind of stuff, because, it understands in the Bible that a lot of times a homeless person wouldn't be able to handle the responsibility of that. But like, I love one of the pastors at my church, Pastor Doug, talks about that he'll never say no to somebody that's asking for food. Like, never. Doesn't matter how inconvenient it is. Doesn't matter, what his time schedule is, how late he is for a meeting. Doesn't matter. Like, he'll literally be late to come and give his message at church on Sunday morning if somehow he ran into somebody that needed food. And so I really love Nabok a Dinosaur. I appreciate you being here and reminding us all of that. At the same time, guys, while I do believe that is super, super important, I also think that helping people fix their financial situation is a great move too. So while I do want to see you guys learn how to be content and happy with what you have and to have hopefulness right where you're at, I also believe it's important to give you guys hope. And so one of the things that I believe that we can do is we can help people with their financial situations. And how do we do that? So obviously, none of us have enough money to just give it to everybody in need. The other thing is you got to be able to, you can only help the people that want to help themselves, at least long term. Like, we can't, that old, give a man a fish, you feed him for a day, teach him how to fish, you feed him for a lifetime, is very, very true. You have to find somebody that is willing to put in the work, put in the effort, and to do the things that are, in their own best interest. But guys, one of the things that I really love about crypto, and that I also loved about my previous life, back in the early 2000s, I worked with a company called Prepaid Legal, or Legal Shield. And it had a multi-level marketing aspect to it. One of the things that I loved about it was you can help people that have a 9 to 5 create financial freedom in their life. Like, one of the reasons I gravitated towards crypto was because you can keep the 9 to 5. You can keep the job or the business or whatever it is that you're doing that pays your bills, and you can slowly build a crypto portfolio, and you can create some financial freedom in your life. But one of the things that I loved about network marketing was you could help somebody start a home-based business, and it was a similar situation. The cool thing about a home-based business was that you didn't have to quit your job. So, if there's somebody here that wants to start a business, let's say, I'll give you a few examples. Let's say that you wanted to start a landscape maintenance business, or let's say that you wanted to start like an automotive garage, or let's say that you wanted to start, you have everything that you need. You want to start, being an accountant. Most of those types of things are going to require you to go all in. You're not going to start a landscape maintenance company by working a couple of hours in your off hours, for the most part, because in order to own a landscape maintenance company, first you got to get a truck, you got to get a trailer, you got to get lawnmowers, you got to get edgers, you got to get weed eaters, you got to get rakes and shovels. There's a lot of expense. So for the first thing, if you really wanted to own a landscape maintenance company, the first thing you're going to have to do, you're going to have to spend 10 grand probably minimum. Like, you could probably buy a crummy $5,000 truck and a cheap trailer and buy a few other things and maybe get away with a $10,000 investment. But even then, to do it right, you're going to end up investing more and more and more in equipment. But my point is, guys, there's a lot of businesses out there that don't allow you to keep your job and to be able to pay your bills. You just have to jump in head first. And while that's okay, and I have a lot of respect for people that go that route, the average person that is sitting at home, that's married, has a couple, 2 or 3 kids, they have a house payment, they have a car payment, they've got, expenses, they're living, paycheck to paycheck. And if they're lucky, they're actually making a little bit more than they're spending. If they're not on the right side of things, they've got credit cards that are filling in the gap, and they're slowly drowning and getting themselves in more debt. Those people normally, don't have the ability to go out and start a traditional business. You're not going to be able to go down the road and rent office space and buy the desks and the chairs and the computers and the stuff that it takes to run, an insurance agency and so on and so forth. And so one of the things that I love about network marketing, multi-level marketing, home-based businesses is that you can do it from the comfort of your own home, using the computer that you're already using, using the Wi-Fi that you're already paying for. And most of the time, a lot of these companies have products that you don't have to necessarily stock your home with thousands of dollars worth of products. You literally have websites and stuff that are there made for you. Somebody goes to the website and they buy the product and it gets shipped to them. There's a lot of good things about home-based businesses, but one of the best, guys, is represented by all of these books, and some of these books that are over here. But one of the best things that ever happened to me because of network marketing and because of multi-level marketing is I realized that working on me and becoming becoming the person that could have the success was the most important thing. You have to become the person. You know, we've talked about this on the show before. In the Bible, it says, man, I wish, let me see if I can pull it up real fast here. So Genesis 1. Let's see here if I can pull this up correctly. Says, God blessed them and said to them, be fruitful and multiply. Fill the earth and subdue it. Rule over the fish in the sea and the birds in the sky and over every living creature that moves on the ground. That's not my favorite version of it, but the most important thing there is that the first word is be. Be fruitful and multiply. The reason that's so important, guys, is we are human beings. God tells us to be, do, have. Most human beings have it backwards. They don't understand the being part. You have to be the person that can do the thing so that you can have whatever the result is. You have to be the person. You have to become the person before you can do the thing and have the result. And one of the cool things about, you know, a home-based business or crypto is that you have an opportunity to do it from the safety of having your job, from the safety of having the business that's paying your bills. And so one of the things that I loved about crypto was that I could kind of be a one-man wrecking crew. So if we go back here, to this. Freedom is our war cry here at Infinite Crypto. If you want to live a life where you call your own shots, no bosses, no employees, no clients dictating what you do with your time, that's kind of funny to me. But one of the reasons that I got into crypto was because of that. Like, I didn't want any bosses or clients. And then now here I am as a YouTuber 4 years later, almost 5 years later. And I definitely have some clients. I have people. I'm not going to say they have their thumb on me. It's not quite like that, because I have a lot of freedom and I choose who I work with and, you know, and all of that. But I designed my life a little bit over the last few years when I decided to start this channel. It's different now for me than it was the first few years of my cryptocurrency journey. My first few years, I didn't answer to anybody. All I did was research, investigate, and invest. And I like that. Don't get me wrong. I did like that. I like what I'm doing now because I think there's more purpose to it. But like I say, if we go back here, back to this, it's kind of interesting that no bosses, no employees. That was the other thing. Now I have some employees too. So, I try to architect my life in such a way that I have as few employees as possible, because employees end up kind of being bosses to a certain extent. I mean, yeah, you are the owner of the company, you're the boss, but you got to let them take vacations. They got sick days. There's a lot of stuff that goes into having employees that isn't always the most enjoyable, part of a business. Now, on the flip side, helping people and being able to help people provide for their families is, pretty amazing. My point is, in my opinion, two of the best ways to help people have better finances are through home-based businesses and then through crypto. And the last home-based business that I was a part of was way back. I think I left, Legal Shield way back in about 2011, 2012. And I kind of got away from that whole space. And now, for the last 8 years, it's been all crypto. And, I'm going to switch gears, one last time here. But one of the things that I want to talk about is, if you've been watching today and you agree that finances are one of the things that can really create some hopelessness in people's lives, and that if you would be amazed at, you guys can throw out your own numbers. It's a little bit different now, but a lot of people, if we could help somebody make an extra $1,000 a month, that would be life-changing in a lot of people's lives. $1,000 a month, a lot of times, would help them if they're one of those people that are slowly drowning, that aren't quite making enough, and that are slowly going into debt. Maybe $100 here, $100 there on the credit card for groceries when the money has run out and stuff. $1,000 a month can be, absolutely life-changing. One of the things with crypto that is, I'm not going to use the word frustrating. It's not really frustrating, but one of the troubles with crypto is that you can't help people make money today. For the most part, you're looking at investing over a period of time and growing your net worth over a period of time. And we even talked about it, not too long ago, that let's say that you had $1,000 or $10,000 that you invested into the cryptocurrency market. And let's say that, we all know that over the last month, your crypto probably is not worth more than it was. But let's just say that it was, that you took, $10,000, $1,000, whatever is meaningful to you. And let's say that you 2 or 3x'd it. So let's say that you got $1,000, ran all the way up to $3,000, $4,000. If you use that money on life today, then you totally have destroyed your financial future. Even if you had $10,000 and you turned it into $30,000, if you take that money and you use it now, instead of letting it compound and letting its children make children, make children, make children, then you're cutting the legs out from underneath your table. So one of the things that's been a little bit frustrating to me over the years with the YouTube channel is there wasn't really ever any way to help people make money now. And so, now there is. So I said everything that I said before because I do want to share a few things with you. I want to give a disclaimer. I don't care if what I share with you next is for you. If it's not for you, great. But I wanted to hopefully at least put something on your mind. Find something that is for you, that you can do part-time from home. And if what I'm gonna talk about isn't for you, that's cool. If it is for you, I'm looking forward to helping you. And I want to give a big shout out to Tim G. Just jumped in, man, and is partnering up with me. Ryan, I don't know if Ryan is here today, but Ryan jumped in and is partnering up with me. Pablo Noodles, Paul Nalder, jumped in and is partnering up with me. And we're doing some special things. And so I'm going to run over to a website and show you guys a few things. But I think I found in my life kind of the answer to this: how do I make money now and build my crypto portfolio? Because the other thing, it's kind of hard to find two that mix. So you might be able to find something that you can do as a side hustle that makes you money, but normally it's going to be outside of the realm of crypto. And if you're investing in crypto and doing things in crypto that are for your long-term success, a lot of times they don't have anything to do with what you're doing to pay your bills right now. And so I'm going to pop over here, and I know that you guys have heard me talk about this 100 times, but I want to share my dashboard with you guys really quickly. And I want to share with you a project that I've been working on now for just a couple of days shy of 2 months. I got some Texit coin miners on August 22nd. And then I started sharing the Texit coin miners with friends and family and people that I had met, through my networking events. I mean, basically everybody that I know at this point has heard about Texit coin. And if they haven't heard about Texit coin, I'm still brainstorming and finding people to share, Texit coin with. But the thing that I love about this for me, and that you guys may or may not like for you, is the fact that it's involved in crypto. So I like the fact that because crypto is my passion and because crypto is my life, that I can do both. Texit coin has helped me find a way to make money up front. So I'm going to show you a little bit of that, but I've made $27,000 since August 22nd, guys, in USDC. So you can see these are the transaction hashes here. For those of you that want proof, go take this transaction hash here and go put it into the Ethernet Explorer. But you guys can see here, I started on August 22nd. And I literally got my first $3,000 on August 31st. So it took me 9 days to earn $3,000. And then I got 3,000, 3,000, 2,000, 3,000, 1,000, 3,000 coming. And I also have 3 profit centers. So I have a list like this for 3 different wallets, 3 different addresses. So this here is only 3, 6, 8, 11, 12, 15. This is only 15,000 of the $27,000 that I've made. But this has been money that I literally was able to transfer over to my Coinbase wallet and then out to my checking account and use for life. So even if it was just this $15,000, that would be pretty exciting. But I've actually been able to make another $12,000 on my other profit centers, and I've made $27,000. And the best part about it is that I've done it helping people that I love, helping people that I care about. And, and so one of the things that I want to share with you guys, I think this is going to blow you away, but I want to share with you what can happen in a short period of time. You guys are probably going to have a little bit of trouble seeing this. I'm going to try to blow this up a little bit. If you guys are on a phone, you're probably not going to be able to see this, but I'm trying to blow it up, and I'm going to kind of move it around slow here, but this is what can happen. So there's a handful of you watching this show that haven't jumped into this with me yet. And it's kind of astonishing to me because of the amount of people that are seeing the vision. And I'm going to go ahead and say right now, like, so many of you that I have talked to have told me, oh man, I don't know anybody. All of my friends hate crypto. Nobody that I know's got any money, blah, blah, blah. Like, I've heard excuse after excuse after excuse after excuse after excuse as to why you wouldn't be able to do something like this. And I just want to tell you guys, it's all a bunch of baloney. It's a bunch of bull crap that you limiting beliefs. Dave said something earlier today that was super, super powerful. If you say it to yourself, it's what you say to yourself that counts. Well, that's true with everything in life, not just hopelessness. But look at this. So, and I want to show part of what I do is I'm helping people. So I shared this with Jeff. and Jeff jumped in. And then my son, Joshua Varnell, jumped in. And then one of my real estate buddies, Chad, jumped in. So, like, this is all in 2 months, guys. So Chad jumped in and bought miners. Chad jumped in and bought miners. And then I shared it with Dr. David Bertner. David jumped in and got miners. And then Julia came in and got miners. And then Jesse came in and got miners. And then guess what? It branches out. So most of this left-hand side that you see here is all off of my efforts. But what I did is that set people up to be able to have their own success. And so Julia came in here and she helped 3 people get miners. That made Julia $1,000. So Julie made $1,000 and she bought one miner for $1,000. So she's got her $1,000 back for the miner that she bought. And now that miner just spits off tokens every single day. David came in. David was so excited about what was going on here that he actually helped his wife get 9 miners. And then they signed up several people here and have gotten a chunk of their money back. This is one of the most exciting. Chad, my friend who's in real estate, man, he's doing pretty well in life, but he also has a business that churns cash very quickly. And so he was looking for a way to create cash flow. When I told him that he could make up to $9,000 extra a week, he jumped in head first. And check this out, guys. Chad just made $6,000 last week, but this is Chad's growth here. Let me try to blow this up. Like, it's too small. I can't blow it up. This is Chad. And you guys are over here. Some of you are telling me that this won't work and that this isn't a good business. And I'm here to tell you, once again, I don't care if you get in or not. I made $27,000 in the last 2 months. And I also have about 1,400 Texit coin built up now, which is at $4 a token, is another $5,600 worth of Tex. Excuse me. $5,600 worth of Texit coin that is growing every single day. I've earned 18 miners free. I started with 11. I now have 29 miners. So look at this though. Chad came in and then Frank, and then Grace, and then Thomas, and Kyle, and Megan, and David, and John. And guys, this is, if we go, I mean, like, this is just one small portion of the total business. You see this is like Jeff. That's just one small portion there. So then I came over and I helped you guys. Some of you might know Joel. Joel is on a channel. I don't know if he's watching today, but Joel came in and got a 9-pack. And then Joel started sharing with people. And all of a sudden, Joel, Jeannie, Victor, Kaz, Carl. And then I've been helping Joel just like I helped Jeff over here. Just like I helped Jeff go down here, I've been helping Joel. So I helped Joel get some people over here. So you can see I talked about Tim and Ryan just jumped in. They're the beginning here, but I'm getting ready to go down here. Down in this blank white is going to look like this over here shortly. And I'm getting ready. And Tim G and Ryan, and I got my wife a miner. Like, why shouldn't my wife have a miner? So my wife's got a miner. But these people are all going to benefit from my network. And then we come over, we're going to go over here. That was just one side. That was over here. And it would go over here to this side, guys. And you got Greg Block over here that came in, that saw the vision. and bought some miners. And then Marvin here is a friend of mine that I met at a real estate convention 2 years ago. I messaged Marvin out of the blue. Marvin was like, that looks amazing. I want some passive income. So Marvin came in. But now we got Joseph and we got Tim and we got Logan here growing underneath Marvin. And then my buddy Kevin, this is, like my buddy Kevin has been one of the hardest workers yet. But look at this, guys. Kevin didn't get started until August 28th. So he started about a week after me. I mean, look at what is going on here, guys. It's just massive. The way that this is expanding out, and then if you go down this side, it's even crazier. Look at that. Rhonda came in. Rhonda's already making money. I mean, like, guys, anyways, there's Paul. You can see, look, I told Paul, hey, if you jump in, I'm going to help build underneath you and help you to be in a position where you can make some serious money with this. And look, Paul has Daniel and then Rhonda and Brandon and Brian and Steven. I don't know if there's anybody else down underneath here or not, but no, that's it. But look at that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 people underneath 7 total people. Excuse me, 7 total people. That's 7 here. Paul Nalder has 7 people already underneath him. He joined on September 22nd, guys. You can see right here, September 22nd. So in less than a month, we've got a serious business growing underneath him. And you guys are like, so when I'm talking about Texacoin, guys, I'm not talking about some rinky-dink operation, guys. Texacoin just hit $100 million last week. It's doing phenomenal things. It's an incredible opportunity to do all of the things that we want to do, that I believe that we want to do. Number one, we want to provide for our family. $27,000 in the last less than 60 days, guys. You say, well, I don't know as many people as you. I don't have as many friends as you. I don't blah, 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 blah. Say whatever you want to say. The cool thing about this that I didn't get into, guys, is these people, obviously, I said it, but like these people are not all for me. Like Kevin, literally Kevin Weldon over here, the only person that I ever put over here on Kevin's side was Paul Nalder. Every single one of these people came from the work and the effort of Kevin Weldon and then the people that he brought in. So last week, Kevin created 9 points. So this $3,000, I'll show you here in a second. So Kevin created 9 points. Yes, last week. Actually, it was more like 14, but Kevin created 9 points last week. And then over here on this side, Chad got a person here. This Frank R came in. You can see, I'll blow this up a little bit. Frank R came in on the 13th of last month. Frank got 9 miners. That created 9 points from Chad and 9 points from Kevin. And that's why I made what in the world is going on here? Why can't I see my... It's weird. How did that get all cattywampus? I guess it was my fault. I did it. There we go. So this $3,000 in commission, most of the money that I've made, a lot of it has been off of my efforts, but this $3,000 right here wasn't because of me. So I made this $3,000 here because Kevin got 9 points on his side, and then Chad got 9 points over on his side. That created 3,000 for me. Now, once again, I've done a lot of the work. A lot of the people on this chart are because of me, especially in the beginning. Jeff, Joel, Greg, Kevin, they're all because of me. Chad, because of me. Marvin because of me. But like a lot of these people are for me. But my point is, okay, what if you come in and you screw everything all up? You don't have anywhere near the success as me. I realized I wasn't on here, but I was showing. So this $3,000 commission here wasn't even because of my efforts at this point. Within 2 months, I have money coming in because people are working on their own dreams. And you say, well, why do you deserve $3,000? Well, I'll tell you why I deserve $3,000. Because I'm the one that shared the opportunity with Chad. I'm the one that spent several hours teaching him and giving him the tools and helping him. I'm the one that actually, a couple of the people that Chad has brought on, Chad calls me and he says, hey, Chad, I've got somebody that's interested in Texas coin miners, but they've got a few questions. Can you please answer their questions and help them get signed up? And I say, absolutely. So I've spent several hours helping Chad. But the cool thing about this, guys, is Chad made $6,000 last week. That is awesome. Kevin made $4,000 last week. Joel made $1,000 last week, and multiple other people. Julia made $1,000 last week. So what if you can't come in guns a-blazing and earn $27,000 in your first couple of months? But what if you earned $8,000 in your first couple of months? You earned $1,000 a week. How would that change your life? And then, guys, let me show you this. So once again, this here, the hash power here shows the hash power here shows that's 100 hash equals 1 miner. So that's my 29 miners. I have the ability to make another 53,000. This 938 Texas coin isn't a true representation because I earned a 500 Texas coin bonus last month. That's actually on my phone in my mobile wallet. I think I could pull that up for you. I just sent somebody 50 Texas coin yesterday, so it might be showing as slightly less than 1,400 now. I wasn't planning on. I'm gonna buy those Texas coin back because they're only $4 right now, and I don't want to sell my token. So you can see here, guys. Come on, where's my mouse? This is my wallet for Texas coin. You can see, oh, come on, really? A notification going to pop up? You can see 1,378 plus the 50 that I just sent put me at 1,400 and change. And I'll buy those back. So here we are in less than 2 months. Not only have I made 27 grand, but I also have 1,400 Texas coin worth $5,600. And once again, guys, as I have mentioned here, over the last 15, 20 minutes, what this right here represents is hope. So call me a shiller, call me a sellouter, call me one of those guys that, that you hate because this is, got a friends and family, a networking, it's a network marketing opportunity. It's a pyramid scheme, whatever you want to say about me, go ahead. But you know what? These 50, 60, 70 people, however many it is at this point, they all have more hope than they had a couple of months ago, a couple of weeks ago. They all had more hope. Why? Because Texas Coin has a plan to take this token to 16 to 80 to 100 to 500 to $1,000 a token. The other thing that I want to preface here really quick is that this isn't full-blown network marketing, guys. There are only 1 million miners, and we have sold about 150,000 of them. the other 850,000 miners are going to get sold over the course of the next 3 or 4 months. As it looks like we are on pace probably to sell the other 850,000 by around February. Once the million miners are sold, they're gone. There's no more seats on the rocket ship. And I'm here to tell you, even if you bought the very, very, very last miner, it's spitting off tokens for the next 135 years, guys. And so even the last person that buys the last miner that doesn't have the ability to tell anybody about it is still going to be incredibly happy and blessed that they were able to be a part of what Texit Coin is building. I am so excited, guys. Not only have I made this money and have all of these things that are happening, but just little cool stuff like Texit Coin went out and bought several $1 million worth of cars that are wrapped with Texit Coin logos, wrapped, in Texit Coin stuff like Formula One or like race car kind of wrapping. And they're doing a giveaway. And I got qualified. I've got 5 tickets in that drawing. Will I be one of the people that wins a car? I don't know. But let me show you a couple of things here on my Facebook that I think are pretty darn cool. Let me get back over here to this view. And I want to show you guys a couple of things that I think are super, super neat. If any of you guys are on Facebook and you want to friend me, I will definitely accept your friend request. My Facebook is a combination of personal and business. I actually probably do more business on my Facebook than I do personal, although I do try to throw a little bit of stuff in there. But look at this car right here. Let's see if I can pull that up a little bit bigger. Isn't that cool? That's one of the cars that I believe could be part of the giveaway. I'm not going to complain if I win that BMW convertible, and I'm going to rep it proud. I love that wrap right there. So the funny thing too, guys, you might think I'm crazy. I don't know. This is the first time in a long time this has happened, but man, the sun, oh, I know what it is. Give me a second, guys. The sun hitting this metal on the floor and bouncing into my eye. I wondered, I was like, I've got this setup situated to where the sun doesn't come in, but I had a little metal thing down on the floor that's not normally there, and the sun was hitting it and the glare was coming up into my eye. But like, you guys want to know how I'm getting people interested? Facebook. Go to my Facebook. This is my post, man. This is one of the posts that I've made recently. Go down here. This is another one, and then another one, and then another one. But then, I get some personal stuff in here too. There's a little bit of a personal post, but here's another one. This is the founder, the owner that talks about what we are doing here with Texit Coin. That's a great little video. This one doesn't really have anything to do with Texit Coin. I love this meme. It says, I told him to buy Bitcoin, and he says his financial advisor advised him not to. And it shows him laughing. I think that's from the movie, Goodfellas. This post came across my feed. Guys, stop calling network marketing a pyramid scheme when you literally go to work every day for a boss who has a boss who has a boss who probably has a yacht. I said what I said. This wasn't my post, but I love it. Like so many people want to say, oh, well, this is a pyramid scheme. But guys, I'm telling you, everything in life just about is a pyramid scheme. You have an owner of a company, and then you've got a couple of vice presidents, and then you've got 6 regional managers, and then you got 15 managers, and then you've got 60 employees, and so on and so forth. It is all, like people act like there's something wrong with the pyramid. The cool thing about Texit Coin, guys, is seriously, like Jeff here Jeff here can go build his own business. This is his business. These are his spots. He can go build a business, and Jeff can make more money from Texit Coin than I can, just because I'm the one that shared the business with Jeff doesn't mean that he can't make more money than me. You know, like if you got somebody here that's not doing anything, they're not going to make any money. If you got people that are doing work, they're going to make money. So it's really the fairest of the fairest. It's production based. If you're working, if you're producing, if you're adding value, you're going to make the most money. If you're not adding any value, you're not going to make any money. Trader Intuition says, how many MLMs have you been in? Why is this not popping up? How many MLMs have you been in? I've been in about 4. Well, let me see. My first one was when I was 16. I was in Amway. A lot of people make fun of Amway. And, you know, I didn't make, well, here, I'm going to go with my catch line phrase here. In full transparency, I didn't make any money with Amway, but Amway shaped my life. Amway's where I learned that I was responsible for my life. Amway's where I learned about these books and becoming the person. So Amway, I'm eternally grateful for my experience in Amway when I was 16 years old. And, you know, as far as network marketing businesses that I've actually worked, I've gotten into 4 or 5 that I just lost interest in very quickly. But I would say overall in my lifetime, I've probably been involved in, I don't know, 6 or 7, 8, somewhere in that ballpark total. 2 or 3 that made some money and that really impacted my life, and 3 or 4 that really, you know, didn't serve much of a purpose. Trade says, okay, going to bounce not to MLM, and you're not reading the chat, only pitching the NLM. Okay, buddy. See ya. Nice to have you here. Bounce all you want, man. And so we go back here to Facebook. You know, this is one of the ways that I'm helping people, you know, find out about Texit Coin is through my Facebook. You know, and, you know, Trade Intuition, you know, one of the things that you said here that makes a lot of sense is this not into MLM. Guys, once again, I want to make this very clear. I am not into MLM either. So I want to make it very clear. This is a means to an end. This is a means to an end. For $27,000 a month, I would go load up the back of my Kona, whatever it's called. What do we go? It's a Hyundai Kona. I would go load up the back of my Hyundai Kona, which is enclosed with dog crap up to the top of the ceiling, and I'd go out and spread it over. You know, I'd fertilize people's yards with it, you know, for 27 grand a month. You can make $36,000 a month is the cap. Like, if it's legal, if it's moral, if it's ethical, and I can make $36,000 a month doing it, I'm doing it. Like, my family is more important to me than what I'm into. So while you may or may not be into, you know, network marketing, you know, like, seriously, I'm not, what's my car doing there? Isn't that a beautiful car, man? I love that car. You can, you know, like, I don't necessarily base what I do by what I want to do. I do what's going to help me create the most freedom. You know, not only do I believe, you know, those 1,400 coins there at $20 a coin, that's what, you know, 28 grand. Is that right? 28 grand. And then if it goes up to $100 a coin, what is that worth? 1,400 times 100. Is that 140,000 at $100 a token? Is that right? 10 times 14, it'd be 14 grand. So 100 times 1,400 would be, yeah, $140,000 worth of tokens at $100 a token. And those are all tokens that were just mined by my miners. So Trade Intuition, like, yeah, man, like, this wasn't my first choice. I didn't go searching for this opportunity. In fact, my buddy Corey shared this with me way back in the beginning of July. And it took me all the way till August 22nd to decide that I wanted to jump in. Took him almost 2 months to get me on board. I wasn't looking. And one of the things that turned me off initially was the MLM side of it. But then, guys, what I realized was what I was just talking about today, like hopelessness. Like, how do I help you guys make the money to invest? There's a lot of people on this channel. You don't know them personally, but I do. There's a lot of people on this channel that have been investing in crypto for a year or two that still have very, very little portfolios. And it's because they don't have very much extra money. You know, I was talking to a guy that I know is very, very serious about crypto the other day that only has, you know, a few $1,000s involved in crypto. Why? Because life right now is smacking the crap out of people. And a lot of people don't have extra money to invest. What if all you did was make $1,000 a week and use that to create your crypto portfolio? What's your crypto portfolio going to look like in a year if you bust out, you know, an extra $48,000 to invest in, and you're going to be building up the Texit coins the whole time you're mining too? Let's see here. I saw a question. If I get a miner for 1K, about how much would that make me in a month? And great Cardsmith's live stream. I was one of the winners. Awesome, man. Good. I'm glad you reminded me about that. The live stream, guys, it's weird. The live chat is available there, like while I'm doing the live stream. But if for any reason you close the tab, when the live stream is over, the live chat doesn't show up until YouTube is totally done processing the video. So for those of you that didn't get paid, the reason you haven't got paid from the giveaway was because I couldn't pull up your profiles. So once the live stream is available, then I will be able to go back and click on your name and pull up your profile and send out the $150 in USDC. So thank you for reminding me. That should be available now. I'll pull that up after we're done here. Dave P, I know I owe you $50 too, and I forget the third person, but it'll be there. But so how much you're going to make per day fluctuates a little bit. The more miners, so we got this equilibrium here, and as more miners get sold, the number of tokens that you get to your wallet slowly goes down. But the mechanism that is in place has taken this token all the way from, 14 cents all the way up to $4. And as we get closer and closer and closer to selling out the miners, the price, although the amount of tokens you're going to get will slowly go down, the price is going to go up. But in general, you're going to probably make $2 to $5 a day. So what I tell people is that in general, if the price of the token were just to stay static and be exactly where it is right now, it would probably take you about 300 days to recoup your 1,000. But that's not happening. The price hasn't stayed static in over a year. It jumps about every 3 weeks or so. Let me see if I don't want to get any, I'll have to pull this up for myself, but I think that right now we're about 80 cents ahead of where we're supposed to be. The price of the token was supposed to be about $3.20 or $3 in October. And then I think it's due to be all the way up. The projection is a little over $5, $5.29 in November. But so to answer your question, most people are getting their funds back in 90 to 120 days. So I'll give you an example if I can scroll down here and find this post. The other reason, for being fast, guys, is you're missing out on people. You believe it or not, you're going to go talk to some people and you're going to find people that are already doing doing this. I'm trying to find the right post here. Is this it here? No, that's not it. Where? Come on. Well, man, I don't want to be here all day. Long story short, I've got a gentleman named pull see if I can pull this up. I don't know if you guys will be able to see this, but you probably aren't going to be able to see this, but I sent him a message about Texit Coin. There, come on. Sent my friend a message about Texit Coin. That's not what I wanted to do here. And he said, I've been mining for about 3 months now. The token started at $1 and is almost tripled. So it was almost at $3. Now it's almost at $4. So he says, I almost have my investment back. And then he messaged again, made a comment on one of my posts recently. So I don't remember exactly which post. I was trying to find the post and click on the comment, but he just recently commented on one of my posts that is 3,000 is actually worth 5,500 now. So he bought 3 miners for 5,500, or bought 3 miners for $3,000 in May, and he's already turned his $3,000 into over 5,500, and his miner is still accumulating tokens on a daily basis. So guys, we got started late, and then this was a pretty long live stream. So I've said everything that I've wanted to say. My last thing that I'm going to mention here is that I think Texit Coin can give a lot of people a lot of hope. And if after watching this video, you have questions, you have, concerns, you think I'm crazy, you want to tell me, how I'm looking at this wrong, I'm open. But if you want to have a conversation about Texit, text me, DM me on Telegram, DM me on Twitter. I would say DM me on Discord, but if you DM me on Discord, it might be a month before I see it. Telegram's better. Twitter is pretty good. A lot of you guys that are on this stream still to the very end have my phone number. We've had conversations. So, for the Dave P's and the other people out there in the community that haven't jumped in yet, if you've got any questions or if you're ready to get rolling, let me know, man. And I'm excited to do some trading tomorrow. I think that we're in a spot where the market is looking to maybe do some rebounding. So I am excited to do the Tuesday Trader live stream. I'll be here on time tomorrow, 9 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. And, I'm not going to talk about Texit Coin every time we hop on here. This was a pretty good one. I'm going to take part of this and probably cut it up and share it out on YouTube and do some stuff with it. But, near and dear to my heart, and one of the reasons why is one of the first things I thought about yesterday when I was at church and the pastor said 70% of Christians are hopeless. I knew that I can give them some hope. So I'm just sharing this with everybody. Some will, some won't, so what? And I let them make their decision. Cryptocurrency isn't for everybody. Texit Coin isn't going to be for everybody. Dealing poker. I dealt poker for a living and I loved it. It was one of the best jobs I could ever imagine having. But like I mentioned on another live stream, not a lot of people probably want to deal poker. And a lot of you have trades that you love and things that you do to make a living. And not everybody is interested, and that's okay. So I'll finish up on that. That's one of the things that you gotta quit worrying about whether people are interested or not. They're not gonna be. Like, God didn't design us all to want to do the exact same thing at the exact same time. The world would be chaos. Can you imagine if everybody on the planet wanted to live in the same spot? It wouldn't work. I don't like Washington State, where I'm from. It's way too rainy. I don't like it at all. But I've got people that wouldn't move and that swear that the Pacific Northwest is the best part of the whole world. And then likewise, I've got people in Vegas that, I mean, they just absolutely love Vegas. And then you got people that are like, Vegas would be absolute hell for me. I could not live in Vegas. So what makes you think that business or crypto or anything is going to be any different? I will tell you this. 90% of the people that I showed you on that chart are not crypto savvy. I've had to help people get Coinbase accounts. I've had to help people that had a Coinbase account but didn't ever really buy anything on Coinbase, but they just happen to have an account, have to show them how to work their Coinbase account. Like, so one of the cool things about this is because it is great for people that are brand new to crypto. I basically describe Texit Coin as a dividend producing stock. So if I'm talking to somebody that I know isn't crypto savvy, I'm not going to talk crypto lingo. I'm going to say, hey, this is like a stock that produces dividends. Set it and forget it. You know, one of the things that I didn't mention, for those of you that are wondering, you don't actually have to buy a physical miner. You're not buying a miner that gets shipped to your house that you have to plug in and try to keep it cool and have it hooked up to your computer. The mine is being built in Texas. So the warehouses and the mines are being built in Texas and then Florida. And then there's plans for overseas so that the mine is spread out, that there's no one point of failure where the grid goes down in Texas and all of the miners shut off. Everything is all the I's are being dotted, all the T's are being crossed, but you don't have to actually own a piece of hardware or have any technical knowledge on your computer. You literally buy the miner and the token starts showing up in your wallet the very same day. If you buy a miner today, like right now, about 5-6 p.m. tonight, Pacific Standard Time is when the tokens show up in our wallet. So if you were to buy a miner right now, you would have Texit Coin in your wallet by the end of the day. It's pretty cool. So that's something else. It's so easy to onboard new people, which is another thing that I love, because once we get them a miner, then they got to get a Coinbase account. Then they got to learn a little bit, because at some point in time, they're going to want to sell their Texit Coin. So they get taught how to transfer their Texit Coin off their wallet and into an exchange and sell it. So it's really a beautiful thing from so many ways. But once again, I'll just say that, like, I believe I am providing hope for the hopeless. And I'm excited to see what the next 3, 6, 9, 12 months look like with the Texit Coin miners. So with that, guys, God bless you. I hope you guys are all, ready to go on and have an incredible, incredible week. And we will see you tomorrow at 9 a.m. Have a fantastic day.